What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper, October 8th, 2024, and I have an emergency update to share with you guys. Right now it is 15:11 Eastern Time here in the United States, and I wanted to update you guys on the situation in the Middle East. But before I get into that, I want to just share some interesting footage that came out of Moscow last night. So what you're looking at here is video footage coming from the part of Moscow near the Kremlin, and you can see all these police vehicles speeding either towards the Kremlin or away from the Kremlin. There's a lot of different rumors floating around that somebody had a medical evacuation from the Kremlin last night. Now, yesterday was Vladimir Putin's birthday. He turned 72 years old, so I don't know if they were just partying too hard and somebody had to go to the hospital for, I don't know, an overdose or something, or if this is related to Putin's health. I don't know, but you can see all of these vehicles speeding either away or toward the Kremlin. Very, very strange. And this is just one video clip. Apparently, multiple convoys like this were spotted going to and from the Kremlin last night. So I don't know what this was related to. I don't know if Putin had some kind of big party at the Kremlin, but you can see them going quite fast here. Absolutely insane. And I want to remind you guys that yesterday, Russia dispersed their road mobile ICBMs. If you don't know what a road mobile ICBM is, it's literally a giant missile on a truck. They keep the trucks in garages normally, but if there's any kind of escalation, then they disperse the trucks from the garages into the countryside, and then the enemy can't detect where they are. Okay, so Russia dispersed some of their RS-24 YARS mobile ICBMs. That is a huge sign that they're preparing for some kind of an escalation. Also, Putin scheduled an emergency meeting with the Iranian president for Friday. So something big is about to go down if Russia is dispersing their road mobile ICBMs and Putin is meeting with the Iranian president. Okay, very, very concerning. We currently have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert today. We have 3 B-52 nuclear bombers airborne, 2 over Louisiana, 1 over Oklahoma. We have 2 nuclear war command and control planes up in the air. And we also have a Cobra Ball, which is a special plane used to detect and track the trajectory of missiles. Last night, we had another Doomsday plane fly to Offutt Air Base, which is home of Strategic Command. So we had 2 Doomsday planes go to the Stratcom bunker yesterday. One left DC and went to Stratcom, and then one left Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and went to Stratcom. So this is a huge sign that the Israeli attack on Iran is imminent. It's very likely that Biden was on one of these planes and Lloyd Austin was on one of these planes, and they all went to the Stratcom bunker to basically command the entire attack on Iran. And the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, summoned ministers to a security consultation this evening at the Kiryat military headquarters. So that's in Tel Aviv. That's the Israeli Pentagon. So the Prime Minister of Israel holding a security meeting at the Israeli Pentagon this evening. So that probably would have already happened or is currently happening right now. And then we had these 2 Doomsday planes go to the Stratcom bunker yesterday. So it looks like it's imminent, guys. Another interesting thing is we had this B-1 strategic bomber doing hundreds and hundreds of loops here near Dyess Air Force Base. That's one of their home bases near Abilene, Texas. And this thing was looping for hours yesterday. Very unusual. And my guess is that these were preparations for a possible bombing run on Iran. Okay, they were basically preparing this B-1 in case they decide to use it. And we currently have an over-the-horizon radar that is active. Sounds like it could be either Russian or American. So an over-the-horizon radar is a special radar for nuclear war to detect the launch of ballistic missiles from thousands of miles away. So let me just play it for you so you can hear it. So that's a long-range nuclear war radar that somebody has turned on. We currently have some sub-hunters off the coast of the U.S. We have one off the coast of Seattle here, and this is concerning because here we have our Trident missile storage facility. This is where we store all of our Trident missiles. Those are the missiles for our Ohio-class subs, our submarine launched ballistic missiles, and it appears they're patrolling the entrance to the Puget Sound, which is also where we have 2/3 of our nuclear armed subs. Okay, so we have our Trident missile storage there, and then we have most of our subs there. And then here we have another sub hunter that was active off the coast of Virginia Beach. So something definitely spooked them. And during a call last Friday, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told Israeli Minister Ron Dermer that the U.S. expects clarity and transparency from Israel about its plans to retaliate against Iran because it will have implications for U.S. forces and interests in the region. And the Israeli Broadcasting Authority reported that the Israeli response to Iran was delayed due to doubts about the severity of the impact. Okay, so they delayed the response because the response was not severe enough, the original one. And so they had to go back to the drawing board, and I think it has something to do with that 4.5 magnitude earthquake in northern Iran on Saturday, which many seismologists believe was an Iranian nuclear test. Iran basically set off nukes to scare Israel and basically kind of threaten them. If Israel were to strike, then Iran would use nukes on them. And the New York Times is reporting that it is likely that Israel's first retaliation against Iran for the missile strikes will focus on military bases and perhaps some intelligence or leadership sites, officials say. Very interesting that they mention leadership sites. And Amos Yadlin, the former head of Israel's military intelligence, told CNN that the Israeli attack on Iran will be something that has never been seen in the Middle East. Wow. Okay, that is absolutely huge. So I'm telling you guys, they're going to go for the nuclear sites. They're probably going to go for the leadership as well, because of that nuclear test on Saturday, the 4.5 magnitude earthquake, which the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. And they're trying to suppress all the information about that. They're saying that, oh, it's a normal earthquake. It happens all the time. It's on a fault line. That's a lie, because there were 0 aftershocks and there was no compression wave. Okay, so that was a nuclear test on Saturday. So now Israel and the U.S. are scrambling to destroy the Iranian nuclear sites, and they have to do it carefully, because if they don't, then Iran can retaliate with nukes. And the Iranian parliament is reportedly drafting a bill to create an official military alliance between all parties of the resistance axis, which includes Iran, Syria, Yemen, Iraq, Hezbollah, and Hamas. The bill mentions the creation of a joint operation room and a unified military infrastructure, as well as joint military exercises and an obligation to send military and humanitarian aid in case of any act of aggression by the U.S. or Israel against any one of the parties. This was reported by Tasnim News, which is like a semi-official news agency for Iran. And CNN quoted U.S. officials as saying that Washington is not currently seeking to revive ceasefire talks between Israel and Hezbollah. And CNN is also reporting that the Biden administration is concerned that the operation in Lebanon will grow into a large-scale operation and not a limited operation like Israel initially said. And Naftali Bennett, the former Israeli prime minister, once again urged Israel to strike the Iranian regime. He said, quote, "I will say it very clearly, we must overthrow the Iranian regime. That is what we must do. The regime will fall. There is no doubt about it. Israel's mistake in the last 30 years is that we have exhausted ourselves fighting with the legs of the octopus instead of spending our energy hitting the head of the octopus." And 70% of gas stations in the Fort Myers, Florida area are out of gas. And Hurricane Milton is currently the 5th strongest hurricane ever recorded. The minimum central pressure dropped to 897 millibars yesterday, and maximum sustained winds got up to 185 miles per hour, guys. That is absolutely insane. And the mayor of Tampa, Jane Castor, said, "I can say this without any dramatization whatsoever. If you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you are going to die." So the Tampa mayor warning people to leave the evacuation zones or else you're going to basically die from the hurricane. And China hacked Verizon and AT&T and may have accessed U.S. wiretap systems. This was reported by the Wall Street Journal. Want to update you guys on Hurricane Milton. So we still have this massive storm surge expected near the Tampa Bay area. Right now, the National Weather Service is saying 10 to 15 feet. I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be upwards of 20 feet. And you can see a widespread area of storm surge along the entire Florida Gulf Coast. Even the Florida Keys are going to get some surge all the way down to the southern part of Florida here. Okay, so all of Florida essentially is going to get some kind of storm surge. Even the Atlantic side of Florida is going to get up to 6 feet of storm surge. And even Georgia and South Carolina are going to get storm surge. So even if you're not in the Tampa area, you're still going to get effects. You're going to get rain, you're going to get wind, you're going to get storm surge. So don't think you're safe just because you're not in the worst hit area. Okay, remember the effects of a hurricane can be 100 or 200 miles away from the center of the hurricane. Okay, so you could be even up in the panhandle and still feel winds, lots of rain, storm surge. Here's the latest rainfall total forecast. You can see a very narrow area here of 12 to 16 inches of rain, and then a larger area of 8 to 12 inches. So they are going to get a good amount of rain here near Tampa, near Orlando. Also, Orlando is going to feel some effects because the storm is going to pass right over Orlando. I mean, between Tampa and Orlando, you have millions and millions of people here, guys. This storm is probably going to be affecting tens of millions of people, okay? So this could turn into a Hurricane Katrina type situation. I mean, this hurricane could cause serious flooding, massive power outages, long-term power outages. The effects of this hurricane are going to be like several nuclear bombs going off. You can see all of central Florida here is under a hurricane warning, and the forecast cone hasn't changed at all. They're still expecting Hurricane Milton to slam right into Tampa Bay area as a Category 4, and tropical storm watches for other areas of Florida as well. And then this is what the hurricane looks like right now. You can see very well-defined eye of the hurricane. Okay, very healthy looking hurricane, I guess you can say. And the hurricane hunters have been busy collecting data on this hurricane. Here you can see an Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft and a NOAA Hurricane Hunter, and they were flying through this storm last night. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. Check out my 24/7 stream. I do have a camera from the Tampa area so we can watch the storm come in And also, I will go live right before and during landfall. So make sure you're subscribed. Follow me on Telegram and Twitter. I post everything there. And until the next time, take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing a discount on their 1 month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnYprepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. This is a 1 month freeze dried food supply. It has a 25-year shelf life. Normal price is $237. They've dropped it down to $177. So that's a savings of $60. And it's all packed within 2 rugged, water resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. $177 for 1 month of food. Where are you going to find a deal like that? So use the link preparewithnYprepper.com to get $60 off the My Patriot Supply 1 month emergency food supply. That's $180 for 1 month of food. Free shipping included. The link is in the description below this video.